G'day, Bomber fans! Pack the brown undies. This is a scary game of footy. Essendon are taking on the Bulldogs this Friday night. I'm praying it for some reason gets cancelled. I don't think it's going to be. I think the Bombers are going to have to play this game, and yeah, I guess we're all on triple figure watch. It is hard to talk this game up. I'll give it a go, but it is hard. Before I do start talking about the game, I will redirect your attention to a new Essendon channel. We love newcomers here in the community. Absolutely Essendon, Daniel's footy page, and Bomber Banter are all up and about and interacting with one another and you guys, which is sick. But a new channel which only started a few days ago, kind of like the cousin to everything Essendon. It is all things Essendon. So go check it out, subscribe over there, get the Bomber community going. I'll have the link in the description below. But yeah, let's get on to the video, starting with some votes from the GWS game. Alrighty, similar votes. Jordan Ridley gets the maximum amount. He's been great since returning from injury. From there, you've got, every player got 2 actually. Wright got 2 from me, Merritt from you guys. Then you got Dersma picking up 1 each, and Blackiston, the role player from both of us, the first votes he's received in the red and black. With all the 2s going on, it means there wasn't a heaps of real movement to the overall tally. Merritt does extend his lead to 33. 7 ahead of the injured Nick Martin. You've got Durham in 3rd, 1 vote ahead of Dersma, who is 1 vote ahead of Caldwell. Then you've got Caddy, Reed, Roberts, Wright, and Setterfield in a logjam to round out the 10. Plenty more going outside of the 10 as well, so keep up the votes. Alright, now that is done, let's talk about this footy game. So yeah, it is not looking good. We have played the Dogs once this year already, and I didn't enjoy it. I was at the game. We almost lost by 100 points. Bailey Dale, I think, got 700 disposals or 800 disposals. Yeah, this time round, we've got more players on the sidelines. The Bulldogs have more players back. Sam Darcy is back, so yeah, it is not ideal. The Dogs are a bit of an iffy team in general. They might not even make finals, but one thing that they're very good at is beating up on teams worse than them, and I would say the Bombers are a worse team than the Bulldogs. I don't think that is a hot take at all. The betting odds are the worst I think they've been for us all year. Last I checked, I think we were $11 or $12. Yeah, to cut a long story short, we're probably going to lose this game. We lost when there was less of a gap between the teams earlier in the year, and that loss was brutal. A betting man would probably say that the Bulldogs win. Really, the main question is by how much. And therein lies the issue with a game like this, because Essendon have been trying to improve its game plan in recent weeks, taking the game on at the detriment of, its defence and scoreboard potentially. The last time we played the Bulldogs, actually, that is what cost us a lot of goals. So how do we navigate a game like this, where, how do we play with intent without losing by 300 points? Yeah, so looking at the Dogs, and, we got to give them a bit of respect. They have an unreal team. I really want them to get things, right against the top sides, because I like watching them play. I've always had a soft spot for the Dogs. They're usually who I go for when Essendon inevitably bow out. But yeah, great side. They've got so much strength across the board. Bailey Dale rebounding scares me. Bontempelli, Richards, and Libba in the guts. That scares me. Sam Darcy, that scares me. The team is scary. There are so many stars, so many, even role players as well. Guys like Riley West, who was great against us last time. Bailey Williams, Fraser. It's just a great team. There are weaknesses. I worry about their key defensive stocks. But the thing is, their weaknesses are only really weak against the top teams, not against Essendon. I think against good teams, they can be exploited pretty easily. Against bad teams, they do the exploiting. The Dogs are almost the easiest team in footy to read. I feel like they have such a clear range. You know who they're going to beat. You know who they're going to beat up on. And against top teams, they contend. They don't win often, but they're clearly at the same level as teams above them or close to it. They're never disgraced, but the teams below, they are a team who you just don't want to come up against if you're rebuilding, because they are so damaging and dangerous and high scoring. I love the way the Dogs go about it. I think if they don't play finals, it shows how even the top 9 or 10 in the comp is. But yeah, the comp as a whole, there is a big gap between teams like the Dogs and Essendon. And on the flip side, Essendon, we've still got injuries. We do have a few more coming back this week, it seems. Aside from Caddy, though, it's not really that exciting. Apologies, Goldie. I love you, but I think all of us are just watching the rest of the season to see how the kids go. But yeah, our team is going to struggle to contend with the Dogs. You've got, Think of Lockie Blackiston as the likely matchup for Sam Darcy. That's a waffle ruckman. You've got a midfield that may consist of Jade Gresham or Andy McGrath or both. You've got, and those guys, by the way, non-midfielders going up against one of the best engine rooms in the comp. You've got a forward line that is genuinely half of it is mid-season draftees who came to the club a month ago. This is a shocking team. There is plenty to like for the future, but right now, it is makeshift. It is on its last legs. It is poor. The team can't even fall back on the contest work in the midfield anymore like we were doing for a bit because, guys like Setterfield and Caldwell and Nick Martin are out of the team. They're injured. I seriously think there comes a game where we just get completely overrun and there would be nothing we can do about it. And for me, it is either going to be this week against the Dogs or when we play the Cats at Cardinia Park. And before that game occurs, we have to reiterate just how bad the Bombers have it right now. Obviously, there's no excuses for a really bad loss. I'll be disappointed when it happens, but I can almost guarantee you that it will happen. This is going to be a really tough month of footy for the club, which I think will make it even tougher on the weekdays when the media talks about us. So how can we make this game close? I don't know. I think we just need to have everyone play out of their skins. And it's tough when you're down to the last lines, and the Dogs are healthy-ish. But I think, we ideally guys discover form they didn't know they could. McGrath in the guts, it'd be a huge bonus if, we have that little ace up our sleeves. If, he manages to be a star in the midfield after having not played there in a few years. Maybe the synergy between the mid-season draftees finally hits and we see rewards there. I think effort's a big one. The boys have been showing effort, but, that intent against GWS was really there. I just think it was the execution that wasn't. I think we've shown a few times since this injury crisis that at our best, we can match it with better teams for periods of the game. It's just about doing that for 4 quarters that's the challenge. And, young teams don't last games well. They don't last seasons well. It's about really, I guess, being close enough to contend when the game is on the line. Because if the Dogs get out to a 20, 30, 40-point margin, that is where you're going to see concentration and focus diminish. If we can be matching it with the Dogs at each break, if the crowd is up and about, if we're losing quarters but not badly on the scoreboard, even last week against the Giants, we were in the game in every quarter. It was just the second that made the margin a bad one. If we can take our chances, if we can play like that, I mean, maybe it's a close game, maybe it's an exciting game, but even if this game is reminiscent of GWS, if we're losing quarters by a goal or two each time, yes, it's 40 to 50 points on paper, but it shows the difference in quality is not as stark as it should be. Because I look on paper, I see complete blowout written all over this. And if we're managing to maintain a more direct and sustainable game style while keeping the margin under 9 or 10 goals, I know that's a very low bar, but that is genuinely a win for what, these two teams are on paper. We are nowhere near close to them right now. And yeah, I guess we're just focusing on the kids again. That is unfortunately all we can really do to give us hope right now. Kako, Caddy, May, Smart, McMahon, that forward line, that inexperienced forward line. I don't know if they're all going to play, but just seeing if there are, moments to look forward to for them. You've got Johnson and Clark and Blackiston who are improving in the other half of the field. I'd like to see another Rising Star nomination to end the year. I know it doesn't mean a lot, but, 5 is the record for a non-expansion team. I think we are currently on 4. So we've got Johnson, we've got Archer May, who have both been close, Oscar Smart, Lowell, I don't know if he plays, but I'm probably forgetting others. But yeah, another Rising Star nomination just to give us that little piece of history to go along with the 13 debutants. It doesn't mean much, and I'm not really lost on the direction if it doesn't happen. But I just think a 5th Rising Star nomination feels better than a 4th. It's hard to find wins from the year, is what I guess I'm trying to say to cut a long story short. But yeah, all in all, this game is just I don't know. It's tough to really be excited by it. I think to end the year, we're going to have bad losses. Bad losses. I'd be surprised if we didn't. I just, I don't think we can keep going on and showing up each week with how young we are. I'd love to be proven wrong, but yeah, there's another bad loss coming. It might be this week. I also think, by the way, there are good signs coming. I think there are going to be reviews which are mainly positive and maybe an upset to end the year too. Probably not against the Dogs, but yeah, I think strap in for a potentially pretty ugly game and month of footy. It doesn't change the way I feel about what we're doing now. I think, there'll be some angry comments after a close to 100-point loss. I get that. But yeah, leading into it, I think it's bound to happen pretty soon. I'm pretty content in saying that if we lose badly, A big reason why would be personnel. Team news, we should welcome back a few players. Caddy and Goldie should return. I suspect Goldie comes straight in for Vigo and Caddy. Archer May was a bit sore in the face after the GWS game, so maybe he gets a rest, or maybe we try and exploit the Dogs' defence by playing 4 keys. I don't think that'll work with how fast they are out of the back half. I think Sardell Hawley comes in for Lamundawal, but I can't see too many more unforced changes being made. As for the Dogs, Latham Vandermeer could be out with an injury, same with James O'Donnell. I suspect James Harms returns for Vandermeer, and Taylor Dray could come in for O'Donnell. But yeah, let's get on to the prediction. Alrighty, so we know the Dogs probably win this game. I'm never, fully going to discount an upset, but I'm not going to be tipping us. The Bulldogs win. The question is how much? I'm going to go pretty big. I think it's tough for us to get near this team. It's just so strong at its best. Ours isn't strong. I'm going to say the Bulldogs win by 70 points. I just think the quality differential is far too big. I just can't see how we get close with what we have and what they have. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it is close and a fun game of Friday night footy and the Bomber fans are up and about. I just think it's going to be ugly. Cheers for watching, Bomber fans. Get out to the game if you can. Support the boys and one another, because I just don't think this is going to be a fun few weeks of footy. Subscribe to all Things Essendon along with those other channels too. But yeah, that's all. Like, subscribe, and go Bombers.